Good afternoon and thank you for making time to be with the news as it happens. This is KTN NewsDesk. My name is Edith Kimani.
And my name is Boni Tunye. It is the 15th day of the month of May 2014 and we kick off our bulletin with matters Senate being impeached and reversal of those decisions, all that coming up in this bulletin.
Well, we are talking about embattled Embu Governor Martin Wambora, who has been given reprieve after the Court of Appeal issued conservatory orders stopping the implementation of the decision by the Senate to sack him.
In his ruling, Justice Richard Mongo has also barred the deputy governor from being sworn in as governor pending the hearing and determination of Wambora, who had asked the court to constitute a 3-judge bench to hear his case following what he said was an irregular impeachment.
Now, on Monday, Justice Mongo had dismissed Wambora's request to block the Senate from making any deliberations regarding his impeachment, explaining that it would be unlawful to stop a legislative body from performing its functions in the public's interest.
Right, and from impeachment, or rather the second impeachment and reinstatement of Martin Wambora, let's go elsewhere. And it is the second day of court proceedings at the International Criminal Court after Easter break, and the case against Deputy President William Ruto and his co-accused Joshua Arap Sang is currently underway. The trial continues today with the testimony of the 17th prosecution witness scheduled to be heard. Ruto will be present during the trial's first 5 days in accordance with an order that requires him to be physically present after a court recess. When the trial resumed yesterday, the judges informed Ruto that his presence will also be required during the entire testimony of witness P0028. However, the court has not yet communicated when the witness is likely to take the stand. The case continues even as the High Court yesterday issued a warrant of arrest for former journalist Walter Baraza, who is also wanted by the International Criminal Court for allegedly interference with witnesses.
President Uhuru Kenyatta today unveiled a new plan on county restructuring that will see county commissioners and other government officials at the county level take up a leading role in implementing government policies. Speaking at the Kenya School of Government, the president said all government officials will be held accountable to any failures in their respective dockets. He warned that those who fail to perform will not be spared, saying the time for blame game is over. The president further instructed county commissioners to ensure central government policies are adhered to at the county level effectively. We're now joined live by my colleague Sam Mugina with more on this new directive. Now, Sam, what are we expecting after these new directives by the head of state?
Well, the directive in fact take place as 1st of June this year. That's when the directives will be being enforced. And remember that the county commissioners have been given the mandate by the president, a presidential delegated powers to represent the national government at the county levels. They've been given all powers that even a president can have, except sacking of officers at the county levels. Now they will be in charge of course, security and peace. They'll be in charge of maintaining cohesion in the counties, of course, making sure that educational levels are adhered to, making sure that even if a teacher is absconding duty, they should be aware of that, and also to relay this communication to the respective line ministries. And also the county commissioners have been tasked to ensure that all government policies are actually implemented at the counties and be the spokespersons for government at the county levels, relay the presidential speech during government functions. Those are the functions that, just some of the functions that the county commissioners have been tasked. Now remember that probably the county commissioners now become quite powerful people in the county, being the shadow presidents in the counties, probably rekindling memories of the 90s when the provincial commissioners were actually the eyes and ears of the president. Well, also there was a policy on decentralization of human resource that has equally been launched here at the Kenya School of Government. Now, what this does is that it empowers cabinet secretaries to be in charge of their respective ministries. They can actually hire and fire if anyone is a rogue or frustrator, works in their respective ministries. Then the cabinet secretaries have the powers to fire such individuals and also hire people that they deem are quite competent to undertake and forward the government agenda as it were. Well, the president was quite categorical that failure, because now power has been decentralized, power has been given to individuals. Failure to perform, then there's no excuse for you to be fired, because you have all the power, you have all the mandate, then there is no room for you to fail in executing your mandate that is granted to you by the president and also the national government. Also saying that now what needs to be done is just to transform government administration as it were, so that brand that government has been branded, that actually civil servants are out to fleece the citizens and Kenyans, as it were, to acquire services from government departments. That should be a thing of the past, should be history.
All right, Sam Mugina, allow me to jump in there. You have spoken considerably about the amount of power that has now been transferred to the county commissioners. Is there any word from the president on, one, how this will be regulated, who is going to be checking and balancing the said power, and secondly, how does he plan to make sure that this is effective across all counties?
Well, Edith, remember that this will be done in conjunction with the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission is the one that actually drafted the policy, also including the line ministries, that is the Ministry of Interior and the Devolution Ministry, that were responsible for drafting the policies. Now, the president has warned that the power that one has been given, if they abuse such power, then they will face the full force of the law. That is, they will be punishable if at all that amount of power is executed unfairly, or if someone is victimized just for the sake of it, saying that now power should be used prudently to effect government works, to see that each and every policy that has been outlined by government is actually followed to the latter.
All right, Sam Mugina, one final question before we let you go. You did say that the president said those who do not adhere to these policies will not be spared and that they will be shown the door. How sure are we that he's going to take his word seriously, given that people are already saying there are people in his cabinet who are not working, who are still in office?
Remember, Edith, that recently we saw the president, the office of the president, that is reshuffling people from because of corruption allegations. Now, what the president here says is that now that there is a policy framework in place, now it is to move forward to see that if you are not competent, then you'll be shown the door. And if someone is competent enough, then those will be the people responsible to take your positions, as it were. Now, you should remember that the president actually was speaking off the cuff. He had a speech that was written to him, but he didn't use the speech. In fact, he actually was responding to some of the questions, to some of the concerns that were raised after the policy frameworks were actually unveiled. So he was just responding to the concerns and questions that were raised as pertaining to this policy framework. That probably undernoting the kind of commitment the president has. Also, remember that the president has been quite, if I may say, quite keen seeing that government agenda is moved forward, quite keen to see that corruption is weeded out from government departments, saying that corruption cartels should actually be destroyed. And he started that within his ministry, that is the office of the president, by trying to reshuffle people just to break those cartels. Now, with the framework, the policy frameworks now in place, then it means that is a step forward, because now there is actually a law guiding maybe hiring and firing of individuals. Edith?
Well, thank you very much, Sam Mugina. He is coming to us live from the Kenya School of Government, where President Uhuru Kenyatta, as you've just heard, has unveiled a new plan on county restructuring that will see county commissioners and other government officials be responsible for governance at the county level. Now, by December, police will have a digital communication system to monitor activities in Nairobi. Safaricom will start installing 80 units of new security communication systems that will help police pick out a criminal from a crowded street and monitor their movement. The system incorporates CCTV cameras, spy cameras, and digital radio communication devices. The system will also be installed in Mombasa within the next 24 months. The system can capture facial and movement recognition from the CCTV footage and relay it in real time to the command center.
That we are in the process of implementation of the Constitution of Kenya. This is one of the part of it, transforming from the police force to the National Police Service. It is indeed part of this. That's why I was talking about modernization of the police. Modernizing it from force to the service. The communication equipment in the service has been wanting for a long time, especially the issues that Okeyo has been talking about on the interferences all the time, but anybody who can access this particular gadget.
We agree that part of the letdown to the system has been a few rogue officers. This system has capability, once it is programmed, to indicate you who is where, and whoever gets out of the allocated radius can be traced. For instance, if an officer has been assigned to work within the Westlands area, and that area is defined, and that officer gets out of that area, the system is able to note that the officer who was supposed to man this area is actually out of his jurisdiction.
It's just the fact that you can't walk safely on the street, knowing that you can't trust the guys around you. Those are the people worry about. And the fact that there is sufficient surveillance to deal with that is what brings comfort to people. That and the fact that people want to see sometimes visible policing. So a combination of actual boots and a combination of technology. I think that brings calm to people walking around our streets.
The issue is that, whenever we get past Westgate, when Westgate happens, we're all appalled and we all want everyone to do everything possible. 2 weeks later, we forget about it. We forget about what happened in Mombasa 2 weeks ago. If I asked you guys how many people died, you probably forgot. And so, security is something which, and I'm probably sounding a bit like a preacher here, but, Safaricom, we do take our responsibility as a corporate citizen very seriously, and we are operating, this is a system which will be on par with that which you have in London, which you have in New York, and which you have in many major cities.
To Kisumu now, where mechanics in Kisumu's Juakali area demolished sheds belonging to crooked colleagues who had set up an extortion meant to target owners of private vehicles. Fredo Mulo gives us a story.
Professional integrity moved these honest mechanics who work along Kisumu's Otieno Oyo Road to eject their colleagues who had set up a lucrative extortion racket.
Mtu anaenda safari zake, mtu anakuambia mara kitu imefungwa kwa barabara kwa mguu. Alafu unamuuliza hiyo kitu utaitengenezea ngapi? Anakuambia ni 200. Baadaye pesa inaenda 60,000, 50,000. Na hiyo imekuwa ikiharibu jina ya hapa sana. Kwa hivyo kuanzia leo hiyo kitu haitafanyika.
The game was very simple. Unsuspecting car owners who drove along the road would be flagged down by a group of fake mechanics who then pulled them aside to their sheds. With lightning speed, they would strip the car of essentials and then demand repair fees amounting to as much as 30,000 shillings.
Tuliamua hatutawataka kuanzia muzikiti mpaka kona ya United. Kwa hivyo hatuwataki, na wale wakazi wa Kisumu ama wasafiri ambao huwa wanasafiri wakitoka Nairobi ama sehemu zingine tofauti wawe wakipita Kamas kuanzia sasa wakiwa na utulivu.
The racket that has gathered pace over the last 2 years continued unabated, with virtually no action being taken against the fraudsters until media exposures brought the issue to light. Otieno Oyo Road, which is conveniently located between Kisumu's CBD, the airport, and major roads leading into Western Kenya, hosts a large chunk of garages in the city, attracting mechanics from as far as Nairobi due to the availability of work.
From Kisumu, we'll go to the central part of this country, and the National Police Service Commission has asked police officers at grassroots areas to remain calm ahead of the vetting process expected to commence in 2 weeks' time. Kavuludi, who spoke in Nyeri on a sensitization mission before the vetting starts, said the commission wants to demystify vetting and give police officers a chance to ask questions and understand what the process is all about. About 1,103 officers are expected to undergo the vetting, with about 103 of them from Nyeri County. Kavuludi said the commission's mandate is to ensure human capital in the police service is taken care of in terms of working and living conditions.
We will want officers to go through a process together with us of understanding the vetting regulations, the vetting processes, to tell them how they should be preparing for the vetting. This time round, the Commission will not be calling officers to go to the Commission's headquarters for vetting. The vetting of officers from now on will be undertaken at the level where police officers live and work. We shall sensitize about 110 police officers in the rank of senior superintendent and the superintendent of police. Once we have sensitized them, in a week or two we come back and do the actual vetting. The actual vetting, like for this county, will only take 2 days, because we will arrive a full team of the commission comprised of 4 panels, and each panel should be able to handle approximately 10 police officers a day.
Right, we go back to Kisumu, and it's a suicide mission, where a suicide attempt in Kisumu turned Ori when a young man who was trying to take his life jumped from a tree but did not die. Well, a youth who is said to have quarreled with his wife in the morning attempted to kill himself, but the fall from the tree was not enough to end his earthly sojourn. Instead, neighbors speculated that he could have broken his spine after the fall, since he landed on his back and remained motionless for more than an hour before police came to collect him.
Sasa wenye walimfuruta wakijaribu kumsimamisha asimami, na umesikia ati hii makosa yake ni makosa ya pili, akikosana na girlfriend yake. Huyu alikuwa anafanya dhambi mbaya mbaya. Mara ya kwanza nilisikia ati amekunywa sumu. Jumi sikuwangi kwa hii area sana. Sasa hii ya pili ndio imenipata mimi.
Tangu mtoto atoke kwa miti anguke, majirani wamefanya nini? Yenye mimi nimeishi huko Dunga na kuja kusaidia huyo mtoto. Kuweni watu wazuri na majirani wazuri.
Wewe ni nani wake?
Mimi hata simjui, I'm a good Samaritan.
Well, that's a good Samaritan. I think it's a good story that he didn't die.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, what do the laws say about attempted suicides?
Well, he should be charged.
Oh, really?
Yes,
for trying to take his life?
Yeah, attempt on his own life.
Well, let's take a short commercial break. When we come back,
Cooperative Bank has reported some rather impressive numbers. 3.8, not near Safaricom, but hey, it's good numbers.
It's not a competition. But we take a short commercial break. We'll be back with those numbers after the break.